All right, welcome class. This is week 3 of Youth Ministry Online 301 and for Fruitland Baptist Bible College. And I want to welcome you today for this class. Now, I've got something a little different we're doing today. I'm actually in our nursery here at our church. And I've been thinking about the lesson titled, The Developmental Phases of Adolescence. And my children spend a lot of time here in this nursery. My youngest one, Malachi, he's just a year old, and so he spends all of his time at church unless he's snoozing or very, very good in the nursery with our nursery workers here. But this is where a lot of kids come, and they have fun, but the goal is for them to one day get out of the nursery. And they are going to grow up. My prayer is that my son would love Jesus and would follow Jesus with his life. But this is a place where you begin, when your life begins, you spend a lot of time. And our children do. But they're going to develop and they're going to grow up and they're going to grow outside of this nursery. And they're gonna get into the real world, and they're gonna make a lot of decisions, a lot of choices, and they're gonna need a lot of guidance. Well, in the youth ministry field, you're getting students in a lot of ranges of adolescence. Actually, there are 3 phases of adolescence that they go through, even when they're in youth ministry. Okay, so they're growing as you have them. The average youth minister stays at a church, I don't know, I think it's like some 9 months to 14 or 15 months. It's a very short amount of time. So very few actually get to see kids grow up in all 3 phases of adolescence. You're going to have to, that's longevity. That's something that, we should pray about and that we should desire, for our youth ministers. But that's another subject for another time. But as you have your students, they're going to be growing, and they're going to be changing, not just spiritually, but physically, emotionally, mentally. They're going to be changing, and that's what this lesson is all about. Now, you're going to find that the notes for this week are particularly long. That doesn't mean that this class for today is going to be long. I'm going to give you a flyby of what you would talk about. That's one of the benefits, I think, from being inside a classroom. Okay, is that we can spend a lot of time on these notes. But for you today, I'm going to give you just the foundation of this lesson. I want you to grow in that lesson. I want you to do some studying yourself. I'm going to give you the notes. They're attached. Okay, on your main page for this course, they're attached, and I've given you the answers for the blanks. All right, so they're there for you. The issue with this video is that you're not going to get all of it today, okay? Because it's a lot of content. Sometimes I spend more than 1 week on this lesson, but because we're on such a tight schedule, you're going to have to cover it for this week. But the point of this lesson was for you to understand the different areas and phases of adolescent development, how they practically apply to ministry. This has some psychology to it, some science to it, and some biology, right? You're going to be learning about how they grow, how things grow, how people grow, and it's way more. It goes outside of the realms of just Bible and ministry. You're gonna have to understand that God's created us to grow up and to mature in a lot of different ways. And I want you to look in Luke chapter 2, because everything that we do has a biblical focus. And in Luke chapter 2, verse 52, we find that even Jesus had to grow up when he was on earth. And so in verse 52, it says, "And Jesus grew in wisdom and stature and in favor with God and men." Jesus grew in 5 different areas. You grew in 5 different areas, are growing in 5 different areas, and your kids, the ministry that you're going to have with students, your kids are growing in 5 different areas. One is physically. The Bible says that Jesus grew in stature. Okay, Jesus grew physically, and if you track a student from age 11 to 18, watch them grow. It makes you sad to see how much they grow up. And especially if if you could look at pictures from the beginning of ministry. I have kids that gosh, I can remember when they were in the 6th grade. I can remember going to middle school when they were just so teeny tiny, 11, 12 years old. And now they're seniors in high school, or they're fixing to go to college. I met a young lady at Walmart in Hendersonville just 2 weeks ago. She was an 8th grader when I ministered at this church in Hendersonville. She's in her 2nd year of college. Now that made me feel really old, okay, to see that. But just they grow up physically. They grow up. Their bodies change. Their voices change. Their athletic abilities change. Sometimes they get more clumsy. Sometimes sometimes they don't look so goofy, as they did. It's just amazing how your body changes and how you grow in stature. Okay, but Jesus also grew intellectually. And I know that may blow your minds to think, well, he's God, and how could God learn? Well, the Bible says that Christ did learn. He learned from his own experiences. If you read in Hebrews chapter 5, especially, it talks about how Jesus learned he learned suffering. Through suffering. He learned through his experiences here on earth. That's what it means. Jesus grew intellectually. Now, as a child, Jesus grew intellectually too. He was an 11-year-old, 12-year-old when he was teaching in the temple. Yes, he knew all things as the Son of God. I know that. Okay, everybody, and that's what confuses me, and I don't understand how it all works that way. But he was still a boy, and so he did learn. He did. He didn't use his power, to as God. He didn't use that to an advantage. Remember that. He robed himself in flesh. Jesus grew intellectually. Jesus also grew emotionally too. And we know that through the many experiences that he had. He grew emotionally. Jesus also grew spiritually. If you read in Luke chapter 2, verse 52, it says, "And Jesus increased," or grew, "in wisdom and stature, in favor with God." In favor with God. He grew spiritually. He learned the word of the Lord, and he applied the word of the Lord, and he walked with God. And everybody knows that the discipleship is a journey. So Jesus grew in wisdom and stature, in favor with God, and then socially with men. Your students are growing in all of these areas: physically, intellectually, emotionally, spiritually, socially, all at one time. All at one time. They're growing together. Now, something really fun that you're going to do with your discussion forum this week is you're going to give a vision of what you think a teen should look like when they graduate. All right? You're going to give a picture of that. Okay? You're going to write down, how do you think a student should look physically at 18 years old? How do you think a student should think intellectually at 18 years old when they graduate? Emotionally, spiritually, socially. What would be the goal? What would be your desire, your dream to see these students grow, and how would you envision them growing? You're going to have a good time with that. And then I also want you to think back, in this lesson. I want you to think back to when you were a teenager, and I want you to try to tap into that, into that teenage mind, and how, Are you what's your worry quotient? Think about that. What are you worried about as a young child? What are you worried about as a teenager? What are you worried about as you're getting ready for college? But also, what in life makes a child feel good? What is it that gives them victory and joy and happiness? Those are some other things to think about too. I want you to really remember what it was like to be a teenager. Maybe for some of you it was a long time ago, and you're going to have to really think back. But then some of you it's just a few years back, maybe last year or the year before that. You can really relate to those students. You remember very well what it was like to be a child. So, what is the goal? That's something that we need to look at. What is the goal of adolescent development? This is it. That a youth can move from total dependency and then is moving towards autonomy. Okay? That means that their faith is no longer secondhand, but firsthand. And that's the goal. You're moving from total dependency, in life, to total autonomy. That means that you're able to make rational decisions. That would be a goal of adolescence. to get you that so that you're not needed in the nursery anymore. You don't have to come to the nursery anymore. You don't have to worry about mama's milk. You don't have to worry about somebody watching you to make sure you don't fall. You don't have to worry about whether or not Susie's got my toy or not. You're way past that stage. Okay, no longer dependent, but you've moved to a place where you can make rational, moral decisions. You're beginning to discern accountability. You're beginning to take responsibility for your actions. That would be the goal of adolescence. Okay, as one older gentleman in our church put it, he was talking about an older man, in our church that yet to grow up, and he said, "I want to see this guy become a model citizen. I want to see him where he's contributing to the working world. I want to see him where he's independent. Okay, he's able to function. He's able to make his own decisions. He's able to grow up." That's the goal of adolescence, to grow up. This lesson, again, I told you, is so detailed, but just understand there are 3 phases of development within student ministry, and you're going to have all 3 ages possibly every single week, all the time. All right, unless you've got age-integrated youth ministry, which I think is fantastic if you have the numbers for it and if you have the help for it and if you're able to, to build middle school ministry and high school ministry and college ministry. Our church does to an extent, but there's a good chance that, when you have your big group gathering, you're going to have all 3 phases of adolescence in the room. You're going to have to teach all 3 phases of adolescence, and you're going to have to relate to all 3 phases of adolescence, okay? And how you do that is totally up to you and how the Lord leads you. But understand that they're all going through different phases, okay? There's 3 phases. Early adolescence, that's ages 11 to 13. That's the awkward middle school years, all right? 11 to 13, that's when they're asking the question, who am I? And what am I all about? How do things work? Okay, I have so much fun with middle schoolers. I love 6th graders and I love 7th graders. If I were ever a teacher in this public school field, that's what I would want to teach. I would want to be in the middle school. I love it. Okay, but that's what they're asking: self-identity. Okay, early adolescence is all about self-identity. Who am I and what am I all about? Okay, and then you've got middle adolescence. That's the age range of 14 to 16. That's 8th grade, 9th grade, and 10th grade. All right, and they're more social. Okay, social identity. How do others perceive me is the main question that they ask. And you definitely see that in the social media driven world. Okay, most kids start getting social media accounts and things like that, a little freedom in that 14, 15, 16 range. Okay, they start to click up into friends. They start to make weekend plans. They start to even make some of their own decisions socially, and then this is where they start to date, where they start to understand that that there's more to the opposite sex than cooties, or this is when youth ministry becomes a nightmare. Just going to be honest with you. This is when students start to grow up, and they start to grow up physically. They start to grow up emotionally, especially for the girls. Their emotions are all out of whack in this age range. This is when it gets fun and interesting, and you're going to have to start to learn, how can I minister to this ever-changing teen, and how can I really pray for the parents? That's another thing to ask. How can I really pray for these parents as they're teaching 14, 15, and 16-year-olds? So that's middle adolescence. But then the last phase is late adolescence. That's from 17 years old to 19 years old. That's junior year in high school, all the way up to that first year in college. Okay, that you're ministering to students. And then they're asking the question, service identity. What am I going to do for the rest of my life? And again, my favorite phase is the middle school age, 6th, 7th grade. But then I would say that this is where the rubber meets the road, because you're starting to invest in the students' future on this earth, and you're beginning to care about how are they gonna to be a citizen of the United States? How are they going to contribute to society? How what are they going to do? What college are they going to go to? What career are they going to pursue? These are some pretty big questions. And you're going to get a chance to minister to kids that are in early adolescence, middle adolescence, and late adolescence. And this lesson, that's what this session is all about. And so as you look in your notes, you're going to see all kinds of things. But the most important thing that you study, okay, for this, I'm not asking you to remember all of these questions. I'm not asking you to remember all their physical makeups. I'm not asking you, to even get all the traits, okay, of an early adolescent or middle adolescent or late adolescent. But I do want you to know that as they're changing physically, as they're changing socially, intellectually, emotionally, how are they changing spiritually? All right, this is what our groundwork. Okay, how can I minister to a child that's 11 and 12 years old? How can I minister to a 14, 15, 16-year-old? How can I minister to the one that's getting ready to go into college and begin adult life? How am I ministering to them? Those are the areas I really want you to study. And you're going to see that just as all the other phases change, so it changes with the way that they're growing spiritually. So please, do your homework this week, all right? I really need you to take a look at the notes. I need you to focus, okay, on how you can minister to the different age ranges. That's why your projects are vital. Okay, we're getting into the part where you're going to do the 60-minute challenge, and you're going to spend an hour with different students, and you're going to be writing students, calling students. You're going to spend some time with students. I want you to try to, and you're going to be spending time with kids that are in different phases of adolescence intentionally. All right, I want you to see the differences. I want you to note the differences. I want you to see how they're growing in all of those regards, and I want you to enjoy it too. Okay, I do want you to invest in these kids, love on the kids, share Jesus with the kids, encourage them, pray with them, and I really hope that you'll enjoy this session. It's a great one, but just notice that all kids are growing just as Jesus did, in wisdom and stature, in favor with God and men. All right, everybody have a good week. God bless you. I'll see you next time.